Hello, my friends. So, Beck has been having some medical issues. In fact, they went in for a triple bypass yesterday, and like clockwork, Amber shows up and starts having her own medical issues. This seems to always be the case. Anytime somebody in Girl World, especially Beck, is having some sort of medical problem, Amber will always start having a medical problem too. Isn't that weird? I don't know, I think that's weird. This is titled, I Went to the Hospital. So let's just see what she has to say about her very suspiciously timed trip to the hospital. If you'd like to like and subscribe, that would literally be hectic. I'm not gonna lie.
Dylan, I did go to the ER, yes. I wasn't gonna go, and my mom was just like, "It's okay, let's go, please, like, I'm worried about you," and then I was, like, getting scared because people were, like, messaging me about blood clots, and I'm like, "What is life right now?"
Really? People were messaging you about blood clots? You brought up blood clots.
And also, I'm having this weird, like, inner thigh pain, and I'm like, "Is blood clot finally here?" So I don't really know.
Because your leg hurt. That's it. She had a sore leg and she was like, immediately, must be a blood clot. It's got to be a blood clot. It's like she wants to have a blood clot. But I love how she says, I wasn't going to go, but my mom basically made me shut up. That did not happen. I'm not convinced she actually went to the hospital. I think she's just saying all this because she wants that sympathy that Beck is getting. She needs some of that. Like I said, she is addicted to sympathy. And if somebody else is getting it, she's going to figure out a way to kind of steal some of that, or try to anyway. You know, and another thing I found interesting is most people, and maybe I'm crazy, but I would think most people, or at least this is the way I do things, you know, if I have a pain in my leg or if something is bothering me and I'm concerned it might be an issue, my first thought is to make a doctor's appointment, not go to the ER. Now, I understand at her size, there's a potential that it could be more dangerous, you know, a leg pain or whatever. But generally speaking, calling and making an appointment is the normal way to do things. But that's just not how she operates. If she went to the hospital at all, which I'm not sure that that's true, it just shows what a burden she is on her mom because she could have just made an appointment.
So I went to the ER and they did all the tests. They did all the tests, like
Oh,
every
of
test you can
course.
think of.
Of course. They did all the tests. You guys, she's very special. You know, when she goes in, they spare no expense. Want to make sure she gets all the tests, even the really cool, expensive, unique, quirky ones.
And turns out it's not a blood clot. And I was like, thank God. I was very worried about that. My mom was worried about that, obviously. So it's not a blood clot. It just seems like it would be easy for me to get one. Okay.
And that is Amberlynn's medical history in a nutshell. She thinks, that seems like something I could get. You know, I've heard of this thing, and that sounds like I could definitely have it. So instead of talking to a professional before saying something to the public, she gets on a video or a live stream and says, you guys, I might have this thing. I might have a blood clot. It's very scary. We should all be very scared together. I'm so scared. And then the am babies, the complete dinguses and dipshits that believe this stuff, are worried with her. Oh my gosh, what if it's a blood clot? And then she gets on and says, it wasn't a blood clot. Turns out I'm full of shit. What do you know? Yeah, of course it wasn't.
In the x ray, though, because I took an x ray of my pelvis, hip, thigh, leg, knee area, and I have arthritis. I was like, oh, that's not what's causing the pain, but it's something they found in trying to figure out the pain.
So I will say, arthritis is a pretty random thing for her to think up. And it's not impossible, but it does seem a little far fetched to think that she would just make that up. So I'm starting to be convinced that she actually did go to the hospital, meaning she went to the ER and took her mom with her, made her mom drive her there and stay with her. But I'm guessing that if they did an x ray in the ER, I don't think they would diagnose her with arthritis, I think they're far more likely just to say it might be arthritis, or we saw something that could be arthritis or could be something, and you probably need to get it checked out. So, yeah, just kind of generally speaking, I just Googled it and it says a definitive diagnosis of arthritis isn't typically made in the ER. It says it's a process involving medical history, physical exam, and lab tests like x rays or blood work that are best conducted with a patient's primary care doctor or specialist. So, I really think they probably just saw something on the x ray and said, we don't know what this is. It could be arthritis, but you'll need to get it checked out. But she hears, could be this, and runs with it. Just like with the collapsed lung.
Part of my lung, God, I just feel like it's never ending. I don't know. Part of my lung is collapsed. The bottom of it.
There was a spot on her lung when she got an x-ray at one point. And we don't know for sure, but it is likely, the doctor said, I don't know, that could be a collapsed lung. It could be a number of things. And she heard, collapsed lung, that's interesting. I'm going to tell people I have that. And she ran with it. She started saying, I have a collapsed lung. And it turned out it wasn't. And it's not unheard of for her to have arthritis. Even at her age, it's not terribly uncommon to get arthritis. There are different kinds and stuff like that, but I just don't think that she has actually been diagnosed. Like so many other things, she is just claiming she has it without getting an actual diagnosis, you know?
So I do have like an arthritis type deal. Genuinely not surprised. But the pain is still there. They don't know what it is. And I'm not as worried because like genuinely they were not concerned. There's no blood clot. That could be like the worst of the worst. And fine. But I'm glad that I went because
And she's glad she told everybody about all this medical stuff because think about the timing of when she went live. She actually went live at like 10 or 11 p.m. her time last night, which is a weird time to go live, wouldn't you think? I wonder what else was happening around that time. Let's see. Beck went into triple bypass yesterday morning. So based on kind of the average time it takes for a triple bypass, they would be getting out of surgery around that time. Just food for thought.
blood clots are no joke. But yeah, everything is really good. I do have a regular doctor, but things like that, like, get scheduled out for, like, 2 weeks, and then it's like, what if it is something really bad? In cases like that, because my doctor knows that I have an elevated D-dimer, so he specifically even tells me if I ever have issues or worries of a blood clot, go straight to the ER.
Bullshit. She had an elevated D dimer right after an infection. It's not like a chronic elevated D dimer. She had that one time where she had an elevated D dimer. I would be very surprised if she's had it checked since then. Because the doctor even back then said, you have an elevated D dimer, it's likely due to the cellulitis you just had and the COVID you just had.
It could be due to when I had cellulitis or COVID. He isn't even sure what is causing it, so he's just guessing.
And just a reminder, the doctor wasn't just guessing, he was using his medical expertise and years of studying to come to a conclusion.
I know a lot of people my age with arthritis, actually.
Now, okay, so she's not really wrong. You can start getting arthritis pretty early. It's not completely unheard of. But she says she knows a lot of people her age with arthritis. Girl, you don't know a lot of people, period, other than online people, right? As much as you can know somebody in your chat or in your Instagram DMs. But no, she doesn't know a lot of people at all.
But I can't talk. Someone said Trisha is so shady. I disagree, Spaghetti. I disagree. I mean, when you hear thousands and thousands of people say Amberlynn has cheated on her partners, you're gonna assume that's true. Last time I cheated, I was 17 years old. I was in high school.
I don't know what's going on with Trisha because do you know how many shits I give about Trisha Paytas? And she will give a little explanation later, but I still don't care.
I'm now 34. A lot of people have this whole conspiracy that I cheated on Crystal with Destiny. Absolutely not. Me and Crystal broke up April 1st. Crystal was already on the dating.
I think it's interesting that she chose cheating as the thing everybody talks about when I haven't heard very many people talk about that in a long time. And it really wasn't that big a deal back then anyway, because the cheating wasn't the problem. It was just the fact that you were still living with Crystal when you started talking to Destiny. And chances are you probably started talking to Destiny before you and Crystal broke up. But that is the extent of what people have said about you cheating. Because since then, I'm not sure how you would cheat. Somebody would have to come to your apartment while you're living with your current partner for you to cheat. So that is not something people say about you. That's not what you're known for, in other words. She's making it sound like thousands of people talk about how I cheat on my partners, but that just doesn't happen. That is not what's happening. People talk about a lot of things when it comes to Amber, and most of them are true, but cheating is not the topic of discussion hardly ever.
Naps on April 1st. Long story. And I think it took me about 3 weeks. It was 3 weeks later that I finally downloaded a dating app. And then it was probably like a week after that. So it was like a month after Crystal and I broke up that I even met Destiny on a dating app. So
But they were still living together. That's the bottom line, is maybe they were broken up, but it's just weird that you were still living with your ex while you were talking to your new girlfriend.
not real. But yeah, I don't think Twitter was being mean either. She even said that I was sweet. Um, she has always said, she's even said in her Patreon that she gets compared to me all the time. And I get compared to her all the time. And I genuinely think it's just because we're BPD sisters, not gonna lie.
She clearly wants to make having BPD her entire personality.
But it's like you can't sit there and like I understand believing thousands and thousands of people. I thoroughly get it. I've done it myself, and then I've later found out the truth where I'm like, oh, so that wasn't true. I fully understand, so I can't.
Yeah, she wants to try to paint this picture like thousands of people have talked about her and everybody's just lying, or everybody just kind of rolls with a lie and that creates a narrative. But most of what people say about Amber ends up being true. We get proven right a lot.
And plus, I've said things about her in the past where, like, when she was doing frenemies, which was the best thing to ever happen to the internet. I hated how she treated Hila and Ethan, like calling Hila like a bitch and all that stuff. Like, I was like vocal about like how rude that was and how horrible that was. So we've both said things.
And think about what she's comparing there. Trisha was throwing shade. I'm not sure what she said, but basically she was saying something that could possibly be mean about Amber. So then Amber makes this comparison. She says, Trisha said something mean. I stood up for Hila and Ethan when Trisha said something mean. You know, Trisha was being mean. I was being a hero. So, I mean, we both said some things. And that's Amber. Anytime she admits to doing something, it's always in some sort of way that makes her seem heroic or makes her seem like the only reason I did it was to stand up for somebody else. So while she is trying to make you think she's admitting to just being mean to Trisha, it was Trisha was being so mean, I had to say something. Oh, man. White Knight Lynn.
What was the context? So I just saw, if you're talking about the Trisha thing, I just saw a clip of it because I'm behind two of her podcasts. I watched that shit on times two speed, and I'm so glad people told me about this ahead of time. Because can you imagine me sitting there just like doing my dishes, listening to Trisha on times two, and all of a sudden I'm brought up, my dog would have been on the floor.
So I couldn't find the comment, but somebody said something that I thought was funny. And it was when she said her jaw was on the floor. They were like, you better be careful. You don't want your jaw to hit your pee pads. And I was like, I approve that comment.
But I think they were talking about like people who they're compared to, and she mentioned me. So yeah, I don't understand.
That's it? She was just compared to Amber?
Chantel, yo, and you will always be my fave. Keep being you. Oh, Brittany, thank you so much, and thank you for the super chat.
Did you hear that? Chantal, yo, meaning yo mama, and Amberlynn are my favorite, this person said. I got to figure out who said that. Brittany is me, says Shanatel. We know she means Foodie Beauty. Yo, and you will always be my fave. Keep being you. Brittany, I don't know how to tell you this, and I'm not a medical professional, but you're an idiot. That is my official diagnosis as a non-medical professional. You are a fucking idiot.
Hey, Amber, I've had arthritis since I was 13, probably before that, but that is when the surgeon said it. Don't let people say you're too young to have it. It is insane. Oh my God, since 13. Wow. Like, I can't say that I'm surprised. A lot of things happen at such an early age.
So I will not be surprised if a lot of people say she's too young to have arthritis, but I do understand that you can get arthritis pretty early in your life. It's not super common, but it's not unheard of. So that is not what I care about. I'm not terribly surprised she has arthritis. I just think she's stupid for saying that she knows a lot of people with arthritis.
A lot of things happen at such an early age. Like, think of Cobra. Like, he died of a heart attack and he was literally 34 my age, which is so heartbreaking.
Well, yeah, but he was a severe alcoholic. Like, he had been drinking so much that he was showing signs of serious complications. Being diagnosed with arthritis and drinking yourself basically to death are not the same thing. And don't get me wrong, it sucks that Cobra died, and his dad was clearly devastated, and I feel bad for his dad. And I don't know a lot about Cobra other than I know he was drinking a lot when he passed. And I just think it's a weird comparison for her to make.
Um, oh my God, one of the people at the emergency room, the person who has to like take you to, because I'm telling you, to get to the ultrasound, it was a maze. There was an elevator, there was rooms and turns and this and that. Whew. Was actually a subscriber and literally was fangirling so hard, and they were even saying it, and it was just it was such a vibe. And they seemed like someone that I would like hang out with. Like, you could totally tell they're a lesbian, like the whole nine.
All right, I want you to keep in mind that she just said that this person was fangirling and you could tell they were a lesbian. That's going to become relevant in just a little bit.
Like, someone I would literally hang out with. So if you're watching this, hi, message me on Instagram. We can hang out and be friends. Like, oh my God, it was like I genuinely was like,
Hi, it's me from the future. And I don't believe this happened. However, in a little bit, there's going to be a super chat claiming to be the person that she met today. And it says, I was so happy to meet you. But notice, I still don't believe it happened. So we'll get to that.
I get like spook magooks by elevators sometimes. I'm not gonna lie about it. Oh, I'm sure my size has everything to do with me having arthritis. That makes sense. Wear and tear, folks. Wear and tear.
Now, it sounds like she said that sarcastically, but wear and tear does cause arthritis. And are you trying to say that your size doesn't contribute to wear and tear more than if you were smaller? Because I would think that your size would expedite the wear and tear. So yeah, I think your size has a lot to do with your arthritis. Unless you find out it's like rheumatoid arthritis or, something that's more genetic, because those you're going to get regardless. But if it's osteoarthritis, which is the kind that you get from wear and tear, your size would absolutely have something to do with it, because your joints are not meant to carry that much weight. So they are screaming in agony as they form arthritis.
XL hoodie. I can have more than one friend, love. Oh my God, Lindsay, that's amazing.
I mean, yeah, you can have more than one friend in Fantasyland. Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I need to see a joint specialist and a bone specialist. I'm like, oh, I'm in a great mood, which is weird. Anxious a boost.
She will never go see a specialist. It just won't happen. Even if the doctor or the ER referred her to a specialist, she just won't go.
Thinking I'm anxious because I was so anxious all day, genuinely. And today was like the first time where I realized I need to probably take my blood pressure medicine. I really, 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 really don't want to, but I like genuinely have to. Like, it's at this point where it's like I have to, and I have to be more scared of not taking it than taking it. I can't. I know some things are so fucking irrational, and this is one of them. Me taking
You guys, I know it's really quirky and silly for me to not want to take my medicine. It's just quirky old Amber. It's just super quirky. I know. I get it.
that blood pressure medicine is so irrational and crazy, but I'm like terrified. Like, I would rather do anything else in the whole entire world, but for some reason, I am so scared to take that medicine.
Shut up. No, you're not.
But they did my blood pressure today, and I was like, That's a little scary. I understand, like, it's the ER jitters. They explain to you that, it's usually higher at the ER, et cetera, but still, it should never be that high. And, like, I was feeling it, like,
I wonder why it is that high. I wonder what her weight was at this point, too. But yeah, no, I don't buy it. I don't buy that she's terrified to take that medicine.
my face was feeling hot. Like, it's not good. It's genuinely not. Yeah, I'm gonna start taking it tomorrow. I'm so scared, you guys. Like, I could cry. Like, I never cry.
I could cry. And see, she's smiling and giggling. Acting like this is her favorite thing to do, besides eating, obviously. Acting terrified of taking medication, acting quirky and interesting, that is her favorite thing to do.
I never cry anymore. It's so rare, but I literally could cry about this. I'm that scared. Um,
Did she just say she never cries anymore? It's so rare? Wasn't the Emily crash out like maybe 2 weeks ago? It was about 3 weeks. How long do you have to not do something to be able to say, I don't do it anymore?
Sleeping on her fucking bed, bro.
It's like reading this chat, like, it's hard. And I have felt so invalidated so fucking much. And I have the cutest little fur babies that I love so much.
Emily's hurting me. The trolls are hurting me. The reaction channels are hurting me. The haters are hurting me. Everyone is hurting me. I am hurt by everyone. There it is. And yeah, I'm hurting. I'm hurting.
Honestly, I thought it might just be cathartic to watch those clips.
Ugh. Oh, I'm nowhere near housebound. Catnip, nowhere near.
I mean, I would say near, at least a little near.
Watermelon. Medication anxiety is not something that you like choose. That's why when people like judge me, like when they're
Yeah, you don't choose to have medication anxiety, but you can choose to pretend like you have it. It's not like I choose to be quirky.
I took blood pressure meds for 2 years. There are better ones with less side effects if the first one doesn't work. It's lisinopril, which is like the top blood pressure medicine, I'm pretty sure. Um,
And of course, she's got to have the top blood pressure medication. Only the best for Amber. And I assume she means like the most prescribed, but the way she says it, and probably the way she interprets it, is I'm getting the top blood pressure medication. Because of course I am. That's all that would work for me, is the best stuff. I think it's kind of similar to when she was talking about her college experience. And when she was going to school for teaching, the head honcho, not just anybody, not just a counselor, not just a professor, but the head honcho told her she would be a hotshot at criminal justice.
The head honcho or whatever. Long story short, he made me believe that I was some hotshot, that criminal justice was for me. It wasn't.
I was like stroke level. I was stroke level today. Like it was stroke level. And I looked at that and I said, an instantly anxiety, instant heart beating fast, instant like I need to get my shit together. Like it really was really sad to see.
Shut up. First of all, if you were, that's concerning and it's not going to make any difference. You're not going to do anything to change your behavior. You never have and you never will. But I also just call bullshit. I don't think it was that high. I think it was high for sure. But again, it's got to be extreme. It was stroke level, you guys. Yet I'm here just laughing and having a great time.
Blood pressure meds helped my anxiety so much. If you have panic, a lot of the time it helps. I was terrified, changed my life along with Prozac. Thank you for saying that because, like, genuinely, when my blood pressure feels high, quote unquote, if I can notice, that gives me anxiety. And I think that if my blood pressure stops being high, I would stop having.
If her blood pressure feels high, that gives her anxiety. If it feels low, that gives her anxiety. If it feels like nothing, that gives her anxiety. If she looks out the window, that gives her anxiety. If she doesn't look out the window, that gives her anxiety. Everything gives her anxiety, apparently. Real quick, I just wanted to point out this comment. I thought it was funny. Elena says, so what's the point of this live exactly? That's a great question, Elena. I think that could be asked of every live, except the only ones that actually do have a point are the crash out lives. But other than that, there is no point.
Did they say anything about your anxiety at the hospital? Yeah, they said people get anxious at the hospital already. I mean, that's just like a normal feeling. So, um,
Yeah. That is a normal feeling. Absolutely.
You had to move and walk in the hallway more than you do all week. That's not true, catnip. You don't know my life. Do you have?
I mean, yeah, we kind of do. We know that she doesn't get out of the house other than once a week. I mean, she can't other than when Mama Lynn picks her up. That is it. Mama Lynn is her only way to get out of the house. And she said she only sees her mom once a week.
I only see my mom once a week.
So, unless she's walking around her apartment constantly, then that's exactly right. That she got more exercise at the hospital than she probably does all week. The most exercise she gets throughout the week is walking to get her DoorDash. That's it.
Cameras in here? Like, you literally don't know my life, love.
This love thing is so smug. And the crazy thing is, Catnip is right. In fact, I would wager most of the time when she says, "You don't know my life, love," or "That's not right, love," that person is probably right and struck a nerve.
So don't assume. And my blood pressure was actually high when I first got to the hospital, where you literally just walk in a room. It's but 5 feet from the entrance. Yeah. So that's not true.
I would bet money that Mama Lynn dropped her off right by the front door so she didn't have to walk from the parking spot. And maybe Mama Lynn has a handicap sticker or something, but if she doesn't, guaranteed she drops Amber off right by the door so she doesn't have to walk.
White coat syndrome is just the anxiety around going to hospitals and seeing doctors. I'm no expert. Maybe.
Oh, she learned a new term, guys. White coat syndrome. Look, she's like, I gotta file that away so that I can talk about that and act like I've got that. Yeah, that's it.
Someone saying I sound drunk instantly gave me anxiety.
No, it didn't. Shut up. And the look on her face. Watch when she says that.
Someone saying I sound drunk instantly gave me anxiety.
Duper's Delight, anyone?
Because it made me think, oh my God, am I late? Having a stroke? Like, just out of respect, don't say those things to me, please.
Oh, shut up. That is so stupid. Just out of respect, don't say I sound drunk because obviously I'm going to immediately think I'm having a stroke. Why would you say that to me? Shut up. Grow up. God. I don't think she realizes how stupid she sounds when she says that. And I just cannot understand how somebody can listen to this bullshit and actually believe it. Because there are people in her chat that are going to hear her say that and believe that she's telling the truth and actually have sympathy for her. And I'm guessing that Brittany is me that loves Shanatel and Yo Mama and Amberlynn is probably one of those idiots that believes that shit.
Okay, so what I was thinking about doing, because hi there, hun. Take a moment and take a breath, Amberlynn. Thank you. Calm your nerves down. Yes. Um,
What do you mean take a moment? What has she been doing? She's just been sitting there. It's not like she's talking a mile a minute and losing train of thought or anything. She's just sitting, looking at the chat. She's taking plenty of moments. And I've got her on 1.25 speed. So she speaks even slower than that normally. So she doesn't need to take a moment and take a breath. God, her fans are so stupid, man.
so I don't want to like vlog personal things or whatever's. And I love watching like what I ate today videos on TikTok. So I was thinking I was gonna start doing like what I ate today in a calorie deficit for TikToks.
She actually said deficit. That's interesting. Hey, she can learn. Sort of. Like she will eat on camera for sure, but will she be in a calorie deficit? Really? No.
And then I was like, what's the point of posting on TikTok when I could just post it on the YouTubes where that's my actual job? Because TikTok's not. I don't get paid for TikTok. Um, the only way you can get paid on there is through PayPal, and I'm banned on PayPal. I'm banned on PayPal, folks. So remember when I had my earring business? Haters reported me because it started with people just paying me on PayPal. Um, Yeah, the haters really do suck. I will say that.
So think about what she's saying and what she's trying to convince people of there. I got banned from PayPal because people were paying me through PayPal. What? That doesn't happen. The reason she got banned from PayPal is because she was selling mystery earrings on Depop, and that was against terms of service. And when people tried to get refunds because she wasn't able to send them stuff, she didn't give them refunds. She claims she tried.
I got reported by several viewers of mine here on YouTube for selling mystery earrings. I knew I was going to be reported, but the thing is, I didn't know that you're not allowed to sell mystery earrings on Depop, so it's totally fine. But the thing is, I had so many people who already bought mystery earrings, and I felt like, okay, well, if it's against the thing, my item got taken off, I want to refund everyone. So I thought it was going to be a simple refund. It has been very stressful. I keep trying to get a hold of my bank so I can link my PayPal to the account.
I also love when she said, I thought it was going to be a simple refund, but it's been stressful, meaning I thought I was going to be able to just click refund, but turns out it's going to be like actual work. That sucks. I'm not going to do that. People lost a bunch of money and she got banned from PayPal. But she tried to make it sound like the haters reported her for using PayPal the way PayPal is supposed to be used. And people believe when she speaks. Why is there anybody left on earth that does not think she is a pathological liar?
Oh my God, it was so nice meeting you today.
So this is where apparently the person that she met at the hospital makes an appearance. Apparently.
It's you! I don't know why. Hello.
So this super chat pops up saying, it was so nice meeting you today by a person named Mason, and a picture that shows a guy, from what I can tell. But remember, she said she met a woman.
Literally was fangirling so hard. Totally tell they're a lesbian, like the whole nine.
So my guess is this is either an baby that's trying to throw her a bone, basically, give her somebody to talk about meeting, or maybe it's a troll trying to kind of get a reaction out of her or something. And maybe somebody named Mason can look like a lesbian, but it just doesn't add up.
Oh, I'm pretty awkward in person. No. You know what? I'm not that awkward. Like you made it easier for me today because I was so anxious. And then meeting that guy that you work with, who was also super nice. Like it was everything. It was great meeting you guys.
It's a little weird that she would say, oh, it's you. I'm going to talk about the other person that was there. But there's a chance maybe that this Mason was the other guy and she's mistaking this person for the girl that she met. But I don't know, man. All of this seems a little too fishy to me, especially considering when she found out that she had been paparazzi'd at bingo, she flipped out as though it was the first time it ever happened.
Oh yeah, bitches! Look at me! I'm out in the fucking wild, bro. I'm out in the wild. We're gonna vlog again. Okay, thank you. This reminds me. Okay, so what I was thinking about doing is still doing my lives because that's important to me. But every day film, even if it's a minute fucking long, I don't care. It could be 30 seconds long, a minute long, 20 minutes long.
So, translation, what I was thinking about doing, I haven't been thinking about anything. I really don't care. I'm doing my live streams because they're important to me. In other words, they're easy and they make me a lot of money. So I'm going to keep doing that, obviously. And again, no shade. It makes sense. But of course she is. Then I'm going to film something even if it's a minute long, which means she will probably do it a couple of times. And eventually she'll get tired of the live stream era because she will run out of things to talk about and people will stop showing up because it's going to start getting repetitive and boring, even more than it is now. And people call her out on her lies a lot more when she's live. She doesn't have the brain power to construct narratives on the fly. So she gets caught in lies a lot more in her lives than she does in her vlogs. So she's basically saying, I'm going to keep doing the thing that's easy and makes me a bunch of money. And I might spend a couple of minutes a week filming and doing some other thing because, you know, she's so busy. She's got to work it into her very busy schedule of eating, sitting on her ass, and watching YouTube videos and reaction channels, which, again, I can't blame her for live streaming. It makes sense, but don't pretend like you're doing it because it's important to you and because the audience likes it. You're doing it because it's easy and it makes money.
Who the hell cares? But do daily what I ate today videos of me on my calorie deficit journey because I have to do it, folks. Because if I don't do it now, sorry, I just looked over at my Legos and I just got really excited.
What a stupid thing to say. I just looked over at my Legos and I got really excited. Shut up. But also, you just said, I've got to start now. Because if I don't start my calorie deficit journey now, how many times have you started your calorie deficit journey? I mean, really, I would love to actually count how many times you have started some sort of weight loss journey. It's got to be 100 times at least now. And every time you act as though it's the first time. You've never done this before. You guys, I'm going to start a calorie deficit journey. No, you're not. You're not. I mean, I shouldn't say you're not. You might start it, right? You start lots of journeys. You just never actually stick with them.
I bought like this really tiny maze because I've been in a Lego slump. Anything that I love, I get in slumps. Anything. Reading, I'm obsessed with reading. It is my day, 100%. But I get in these slumps.
She's obsessed with reading, you guys. She's an intellectual. Didn't you know?
Legos, passion. I'm in a slump. So I got this like maze.
See, and that is a great example of Amber taking a normal, everyday human emotion and making it seem as though she is quirky and unique because she feels it. She says, everything I love, I get in a slump. Legos, my passion, I'm in a slump. You just enjoy things for a little while and you get tired of them. That is normal. Almost every human being does that. You can love something more than anything in the world. And if you do it for a while, you get a little bit tired of it and you move on to something else. And then later, you come back to it and go, wow, wow.
Wow.
I remember I loved this and start it back up. That describes almost every human being. There are some people that can love a thing and stick with it forever. But that is more rare than loving something and doing it a bunch and getting tired of it and moving on to something else and then coming back to it again later. That is common. And here's the thing, you could call it a slump, I guess, but the way she describes it is as though it's a special thing that is unique to her or only to special people like her, you know.
Oh, you were not muted at all. Um, excuse me?
The hell was that?
Um, excuse me? Of course I want to lose weight. Yes, I feel a lot better when I do.
So I don't think she wants to lose weight. I think she wishes she was smaller. And those are two different things. Wanting to lose weight means you want to do something that causes you to lose weight. Wishing she was smaller is much easier and much less intimidating. There's no real work involved. The difference is wanting to lose weight means you might actually lose weight. Wishing you were smaller means it's never going to happen. And that's exactly what's going on here. She will never lose weight because she doesn't want to. She just wishes she was smaller. That's it.
Weigh in. Wait, I'll weigh in right now if I get $500. um,
That's the second or third time she's said that.
a live weigh-in. I mean, if you guys want to send me like $500, sure. I will not weigh myself again unless I'm sent $500.
So I know she acts like she was joking, but she's said it multiple times now. So it's a little weird.
So, what do you guys think about the what I ate today videos and my calorie deficit journey?
I think it's stupid. I think you're going to do whatever you want anyway. And there's not going to be a calorie deficit journey. Not a significant one, not one that would actually show any progress. So, you know what? Have at it, Haas. Do whatever you want. But guess what? It's not going to help. You are in need of help that is far beyond just what I ate today videos and calorie deficit journey videos to hold you accountable. It is clear that that gimmicky bullshit is never going to get you anywhere. Instead of actually doing what will help her lose weight, she's always going to default to the gimmicks and the idea that the audience will hold her accountable. Or she comes up with these buzzwords like calorie deficit journey or sitting with discomfort.
You have to sit with the discomfort. I talk a lot about like sitting with the discomfort. Like I can't always do that. No, I used to say sitting with the discomfort a lot. I'm sure you guys remember that. I sat with it hard.
But buzzwords and gimmicks are just never going to work.
A month ago, you seemed in a rush to get off live at an hour, and now you don't. What changed? It's just how I'm feeling.
Yeah. I'm just going to do whatever I want in the moment because that's all she has ever done and all she will ever do. It's just whatever.
I've only been on here for 27 minutes. It's kind of getting repetitive. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder why. Are you telling me that when you put somebody that has no life at all, like literally no life, she does nothing, and you put her on the internet to answer questions about herself, that can get repetitive? No way. Yeah, I think repetitive is kind of all you're ever gonna get. That's why, as much as she loves live streaming right now and as much money as she's making right now, it's gonna die out pretty quick because people are gonna start realizing how boring they are when she's not crashing out and not, making up stupid shit to cover for her lies, and they'll start checking out. All right, so Quirky Love Rosie, which is the Rosie that I think Emily was talking to or something. I don't know. I didn't really follow that storyline because I really don't care. But she says, T, I love what I eat in a day content.
Me too, Corky. And I like it when people are like counting calories. It like motivates me.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell it motivates you. Yeah, for sure. I love watching other people eat, but it's for my own health. It's healthy because when they're counting calories, it motivates me to count calories too. And I can tell that's worked so well. You've been very motivated.
Calorie counting is stupid. I think it's stupid. You need to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight.
Yes, that's true. You need to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. And I don't know if this person was a troll or if they were actually saying counting calories is stupid. But what I'm going to say is counting calories is stupid for you because you're never going to count calories long enough for it to matter. So yeah, it's a stupid idea for you to count calories.
That's, a lot of people are like, do keto. And it's like, it's not even that. It's, are you in a calorie deficit while doing keto? Then yeah, you're going to lose weight. Go vegan. It's like, okay, if you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to lose weight. It's not about what diet you're doing. It's about the calories, point blank period, because I can eat unhealthy all day. If I stay under 2,000 calories in my current, whatever this is, my current state, if you will, I'm going to lose weight,
And she's not wrong. If you're in a calorie deficit, regardless of what you're eating, you will lose weight, but it doesn't help your health any, right? If you're eating 1,500 calories of bacon cheeseburgers every day, you're not going to feel very good, but you might still lose weight. So while she's not wrong, it's still not a great idea, but also that's just never going to happen. She's never going to stay below 2,000 calories. She has gone through periods where she will say, I'm eating less than 2,500 calories, or I'm only eating 2,000 calories.
I gained 2 pounds overnight, literally eating 2,100 calories. So in total today, I've had 2,147, and that is all I will be having. Since this is the last thing I'm having today, that brings my total calories to 1,772, I'm pretty sure. That is satisfying.
And that is absolute grade A hogwash. There is no way on Earth, Mars, or Venus that she has maintained around this weight, and of course it has fluctuated, by eating 1,700 to 2,500 calories. That's just not happening. And I know she acts like an expert calorie counter.
I'll say Romeo's really good. His vet appointment to get fixed is coming up, and I'm feeling really sad about it. I'm feeling really sad about it. Like I hate doing things that like disrupt their mentals. I don't like when my fur babies feel scared, confused, nervous, and pain, but it has to happen, you know?
Yeah, nobody does. Nobody likes to see their pets in pain. The hell are you talking about? She really thinks that not wanting your pets to feel pain is some special empath thing that she experiences. And honestly, I think she lays it on a little thick because she wants to make sure she convinces everybody that she is very empathetic when it comes to her pets, you guys.
Oh, Mason. I was like, Mason, welcome, welcome. I'm so sorry for having such a fanboy moment today. I just couldn't believe it. Oh my gosh, no, don't be sorry.
Yeah, so that was Mason. The fanboy says sorry for having such a fanboy moment. Again, it just doesn't add up.
That was a viewer that I met today.
I don't think so. I just don't think it was.
People were upset that you were cussing at people you thought were minors. People were upset that you were cussing at people you thought were minors.
Yeah, in her last live stream, somebody was saying some immature stuff, I guess, or she thought it was immature. And she said, okay, you're definitely 10. Get the F out of my chat.
Insert lie. You're here. Fart, lizard, lizard, lizard. Okay, you're definitely 10. Get the fuck out of my chat. Seal boy, I'm convinced you're 13 years old, and if so, get the fuck out of my chat.
So, yeah, she was basically cussing at somebody that she was claiming was a minor.
Oh. To be honest, I don't think I care. If a minor is gonna be a dick to me, I'm gonna be a bitch back. Is that bad? I don't know.
Yeah, kinda. Like, if you assume somebody is a minor and you cuss at them and berate them, then yeah, that's pretty bad. Now, I don't know if these people were actually minors. They probably weren't. But the point is, she kind of assumed that they were. And her initial reaction, her first thought was to cuss at them. It's just not a good look. What you should do is just ignore them and block them. That's it. Or just say, hey, if you're 13, you probably shouldn't be in my chat, and move on. But it just shows her mentality that she wouldn't mind cussing out a minor, basically.
My brain isn't fully developed.
She laughs, but
Oh, that could be, I don't know.
and she's starting to realize, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I shouldn't say that I don't care that I cussed out a minor. Yeah, you probably shouldn't have.
She said you're 13 to out my chat. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right.
And that's just not how you handle that situation. If you really think somebody's 13, what you say is, hey, you shouldn't be in my chat, and move on. You don't cuss at them. But this just shows she doesn't care about anybody. She just doesn't. The act of cussing at the minor was, in the moment, you could say she wasn't thinking. But then to think about it later and then have this reaction, that's what makes it really bad. Because if somebody pointed it out to her and was like, hey, you cussed at that minor, and she said, oh, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that, my bad, then we could have said, all right, whatever. But this just shows she's an asshole.
That fuck up? Is that bad? Don't use curse words at the kids. They cursed first.
Unless fart and lizard count, I don't think they did.
Um, did you hear that Window has been posting on the farms?
So notice there is a super chat that says, why did you lie about being a substance baby? She skips that and reads the one right under it.
Oh, I don't know anything about that. Why didn't you come see me when you were in KC?
She just ignored it.
I should start hiking. I love a good hike. Un
Amberlynn Reed just said, I love a good hike. Shut up. If she's ever been on a hike, I will eat my hat. There's no way on earth she's ever been on an actual hike.
You verbally abuse a 13-year-old and you don't care. Oh my god, here we go. I don't care. You know what?
Okay, well, so it abruptly ends there. I don't know what she did to make it end on accident, but she did go live again right after that. But I'm gonna stop this one here. But so far, I think she probably went to the hospital. But if she did go to the hospital, that means she made her mom go sit in the ER with her for who knows how long, 10, 12 hours. So anyway, I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.